everyone. I've just got a little interjection between episodes. I've had a channeling from the Archangels this morning that I wanted to share. But before I did that, I actually wanted to give you a little bit of background so you could understand how I got to this point and why I feel inclined to share this information. So it's a little bit difficult to know where to start, but around 2 years ago, I started having, I guess, experiences with the archangels. Prior to that, I had always been connected to something bigger than myself, always, and I just used that for my own guidance and really helped me kind of navigate life a lot more easily, and kept that pretty much in the closet. So this just kind of went to another level about 2 years ago. And I was spoken to directly by an archangel. I was actually looking at a picture on a wall of an archangel, thinking nothing of it, just waiting for my friend because we were going to go to lunch, and feeling a little bit impatient, and just kind of while I was sitting there going, oh, well, yes. And to be honest, I don't have any connection to the archangels prior to that because as I said in prior episodes, I actually thought they were kind of like fabricated to make people feel a little bit better about everything, like calling on angels. I'm like, really? What do you need to call on your angels for? Anyway, so now, yeah, call on your angels, and they really are a thing. So this particular time I was spoken to directly, very, very clearly, and I had a knowing at a deeper level about who I was at that moment. And I also felt a wave of sadness, and told this voice that it had been hard. And I was like, what am I saying that for? It's not hard. I've had a good time. I'm having a good life. You know, my life has been pretty blessed and pretty amazing. And I didn't know that I felt like that at some other level. So, I just, to be honest, it felt like an instant download where I suddenly was aware of who I was outside of just being Michelle in a body on Earth, which was a bit of a mind spin. And I think I spent that much time kind of staring off into space, wondering what the hell just happened. Anyway, after that point, there was quite a few other things that happened, and I was shown unmistakably, I guess, a lot of situations that I couldn't explain, and I went looking for answers. On one hand, I kind of understood what was going on, and then on another level, I didn't, and I just couldn't make sense of it at all. Or I knew it was a thing. I just needed to make sense of it and find somewhere to slot it. In my normal everyday life. And for about a year and a half ago, I was given through a series of kind of meditations and visions and dreams and other means. I was shown various ways I was taken to a village. It was like a medieval village, and the village was burning. And I was told that sometimes the old has to go for the new to grow. And I was like, oh, that's very interesting. And then I was also shown a world burning, and I was showing a fireball coming out of the sky towards me. And I was in a field of long grass, and the grass just went up in flames. So I was, luckily I had a shield. So, there was at least 3 different, very clear, very distinct visions that I had of my world burning up, although at the time I didn't realize it was my world. So what happened about a month after the last one of those is my world did start burning up. I got a nerve inflammation after getting COVID, and it turned my world upside down, put me in bed, and literally I could carry on hanging on and working for another year and a half, and my quality of life was very bad. During that year, I was trying to let go. And yeah, maybe I should have listened, because in the end I didn't let go, and it took a physical crash to the point where I couldn't work anymore, and I had pushed myself physically, so that now it was affecting not just my nervous system, but the, I guess, the nervous system of my heart and lungs, which are pretty essential. So yeah, so that was a turning point for me, and now I've been in recovery mode. So during that period of time, I had to slow down. I mean, I had no choice. I had to stop. And my life has always been go, 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 like, fast exercise, swim this many laps, work in a corporate management role, get stuff done, don't waste a minute. I had a father who was paraplegic, so life is yours for the grabbing. I didn't have any physical injury at that point, so it's like you've got everything you need to make the most of life. So yeah, that certainly changed things. But what it did allow was me to recognize, I guess, once I slowed down, the psychic component of me just accelerated so much, and literally because I was in a quieter space where I was listening, I guess. And so I really spent a year while I was resting, just developing that more and really owning it, and bringing it to the fore. So I was also aware at some point that I was being asked by the archangels first of all, to channel, and where I was made aware that I would be channeling the archangels, and that was about 1.5 years ago as well. And over that period since then, I feel like there was just some development or some kind of understanding that needed to happen in my mind, and that's kind of unraveled. And also perhaps the confidence or my life changing enough so that it's actually okay to do that. I'm not saying that it's okay to be having this conversation with you right now on YouTube, but when you've been guided for something bigger than yourself, it's very hard to say no. It's just a process of kind of, okay, how am I going to do this in a way that I feel comfortable? I'm not saying I feel comfortable either. So quite a few months ago, I was guided to having a channel on YouTube to share the angel channelings. And I wasn't really ready to do that, but I was ready to share about channeling and light language and automatic writing to help everyone have their own experience with something greater than themselves, and to get information from their higher selves or from other various sources that can really help them and improve their lives, like my life has been improved with that kind of connection. And then so no sooner had I finished the channeling episode, which is still yet to drop on Monday, than while I was in the car on Saturday, one of the archangels came through, and I think it may have been Gabriel, but I'm not sure. And I just had the information. It's like a voice, but also a download that, okay, now you're going to be channeling us. And it's almost like, it's kind of like told/asked. So I feel like at some level, when you get that information from higher beings, and it feels very powerful, and you can feel that energy in your body, then it's always a yes, right? It's like, oh yeah, absolutely, I can do that. And it's only afterwards you're like, what am I doing again? Why did I say yes? So somewhere in there, it's just something I feel like I have to do. It's something bigger than me. Who am I to stop that process of, I've been told, helping a number of people. So yeah. So that's why I'm here today. So this morning I was going for a walk, and I heard the Pope, and I thought, oh yes, the Pope. They're choosing the Pope at the moment. I think they're gathering in Rome currently. And then I heard, I thought it was Chemuel, and so I thought, this is not my thought about the Pope. So I kind of stopped and listened, and I'm like, Ezekiel came through. So I gathered that Ezekiel wanted to talk about the situation with the Pope. So I sat down with my phone to dictate into my phone what he had to say. That's the first time I've spoken with Ezekiel, and only the third time overall with the Archangels that something, a specific scenario that's going on globally has come up. The other two were Gabriel about the LA fires and also about planes don't just fall out of skies during that series of plane incidences. I looked up Gabriel afterwards, and I'll share with you what I discovered about him. I'm not aware of Gabriel. Ezekiel. I've intentionally not learned about the archangels. As they come to me, I look them up, and I look them up after I've done the channeling, because I like to see what aligns with the kind of information that they're giving me. So yeah, there's a little bit of background information, and I'm going to share the channeling and just discuss it a little bit. I think it is fairly straightforward, and share with you what I got about Ezekiel. So because I was channeling, dictating it into my phone, some of the words got a little bit jumbled. So there's a couple of parts which are illegible, and once I've channeled, it's really hard for me to remember what was said. I've got the feeling of it and I keep the visuals, but not the words. So this is Archangel Ezekiel on choosing of a new pontiff, he said. So they gather, the choosing of the great pontiff to come. It's one of their own choosing. The fallen, a great man, expending words of wisdom, togetherness, trying and attempting to create a wave of change, ruffling internal feathers. And there's a little part which is illegible, something or rather to take his place. Corruption is rife. This is not just the choosing as it may seem, the one to follow not having the same virtue, affected in his ways, having had a background of lack of hardship, bowing to dominion over, appearing humble, appearing benevolent. Do not be fooled. Great damage will he do during the choosing. Something to the chosen. So, and it's illegible, but kind of like once he's been chosen and representing the people, this is no man to lead men. In the congregation, sensing and withdrawing, the numbers diminishing as of itself. It appears to be a travesty, but is a component of the slow demise of a station never supposed to serve. Corrupt money trails and indecencies upon examination, where all roads lead back to Rome and its island of law unto itself. Now is not the time to marry yourself to this dominion. Now is the time to question, to examine that which you will find lacking. Seek purity and goodness and equality in something which serves the greater good, rather than lines its own pockets. Call on me to shine a light and show you the truth of the matter, allowing your judgment to follow. You decide and place your energy accordingly. Blessed are we who reside in the ethers, calling and cajoling you to greater versions of yourselves. Blessed are you who stand with your head cocked and receive. Heed our words. Blessings always. So then I had a look at Ezekiel. So always very fitting. So he's a figure primarily known from the Bible, particularly as a prophet, sometimes mentioned as an archangel in some spiritual traditions. He is often associated with transformation, spiritual connection, and guidance on the path to enlightenment. So he's a major prophet in the Old Testament, famous for his visions and prophecies about the downfall of Jerusalem and the future of Israel. So when I saw all that, I'm like, okay, that's pretty fitting. He's just giving me or I channeled a prophecy from him about something that hasn't happened around kind of spiritual tradition, or a particular component of that. And he has been known to have done this in the past. So he's also known as an archangel who can guide individuals on their spiritual journey, offering comfort, understanding, and help in connecting with the angelic realm. So he is asking you to call on him, to shine a light on the situation so that you can see it for what it is with your own eyes. I'm of no religion. I'm just an earth baby. But that's, just how I was brought up. Not saying that religion is a bad thing. I don't necessarily think so. I think it can be a very enlightening and wonderful thing. And then pontiff is not a word that I use either. So I just thought, okay, I'm just going to look up pontiff, make sure I'm clear about its meaning. And pontiff literally means the Pope. So that's pretty clear as well. But I always find that there's a word in there that I wouldn't use. I wouldn't have known to kind of use pontiff. So it's, do your examination. And he would like you to call on him to help shine a light and direct you, or help with that. So I found that pretty interesting. I knew this was the first one I was supposed to share. So this is now a few days later. This is the 1st of May. I didn't really want to put up my recording on YouTube, so I thought I'm just going to put up my angel channeling on Facebook as I normally do, and that way I don't need to be concerned about having indirectly expressed an opinion, which is not very comfortable for me. And so I was doing some writing, and yesterday or the day before, and I questioned the channeling. And Archangel Ezekiel said to me, "Do you doubt my word? Do you perceive that your thoughts have more power than that of my divine energy? This is not the case. So rest assured that what you had is worthy of sharing. I will not repeat." So I'm like, okay, I've just been told. And then I just sat on it again for another day, just thinking, I really don't, there's no reason why I need to do that, because it's one thing to be in the energy of that and feeling like, yes, that's all good. And then the reality hits, and it's like, I don't really see that there's any particular need. And so I was sitting having coffee this morning, and I thought it was Ezekiel, and I'm just obviously not au fait with the archangels. So I was like, oh, is there an Ezekiel? And then I suddenly dawned on me, it's Ezekiel. So I, again, did a channeling from him. So, my child, do not let your brow furrow while you battle your inner mind. Shall I, shan't I? And what should be the consequences? This is what needs to be taken out and examined. This fear of consequences. Is it really so unsafe? Do you not think will lead you in the right direction to share, to expose, to lay open, to relate? Your discomfort plain to see and endearing you to others. I hope that's the case. This Pope will be losing support, losing hearts, and losing souls. The boat too slow to turn, and the persona not one that encourages endearment. The wrong man being put forward, not having the qualities which raise chins and heads or hearts to inspire, to reach, to lay down before. It is part of the bigger plan, the waning and ending of this corrupt leadership, having not served any but their own. So I stopped there, and I haven't done this for a while, and I said, okay, well, can I have some validation, please? And I got told to look up Pope 1983 scandal, so you can have a look at that yourself. I was like, oh, okay, there is a 1983 scandal. So, yeah, I was like, okay, I got my validation. I'm going to put it up. So there's the piece two to my story. I did want to get the message out there. I said yes, and now I just need to put on my big girl pants, and there's my first share channeling from the Archangels. So, you know, I really appreciate you listening, and, you know, I hope hopefully there'll be more to come and something that's of interest. And also I hope that this helps you to start establishing your own relationship with something outside of yourself that can, you know, really help guide and shine a light in your life as well, and that you can call upon it and trust, you know, like I can and do in my life. So yeah, thanks for listening.